Hello, my name is John Hernandez. I am the co-founder of the Latin American Film Festival of Dallas. You have just seen the film Greice, and we have here with us today the director Leonardo Mouramateus. Um, Leonardo, thank you very much for being with us today, for letting us show your film. Um,
Thank
I
you.
want to ask you a few things about the film and about you. The very first question is, I guess, how long have you been in Portugal?
Okay. Well, I live in Portugal since 2014, so 10 years.
10
10
years.
years
And what
ago, I moved. Yes, I moved
and
to
what
Lisbon. I'm from Fortaleza, as Grace. I'm from Fortaleza, and I moved 10 years ago to study.
to
To
study?
make my
Okay, so
yes.
you have a little bit kind of like, I guess, the same background as the character Greice, who also was there to study. Um, I guess what I mean, I know you live there in Portugal now, but what fascinates you about, I guess, making a film as a Brazilian in Portugal?
Well, most part of my movies are very based on my own experience as not only as an immigrant, but as everything that I am. So I really like to make movies or thinking about the stories very based in my own experience, but also experience of my friends or people that I know, or people, or experience of people that I don't know, but I would like to know, and this is part of my job. This since I made my first short movie in 2010. So when I the experience of being a foreigner, of being a kind of and stranger to my own land. There's something that I felt since I was a kid, so in Fortaleza. So when I moved to Lisbon, this feeling, I made this feeling concrete. So it's something that I really like the idea of the playfulness uh, of language and cultural difference, and everything that make uh, narratives alive. In some way, there is a lot of stories that happens when you are outside your home. So this is something that I like since my first shorts.
I wanted to ask you about how you came up with this character Greice, because she's someone who I think to me is very fascinating because of the way that she can kind of be manipulative,
Hmm.
unlikable maybe at points,
Yes.
but also because I guess of her, I guess maybe magnetism or just her charm, she kind of manages to get herself out of situations by just
Hmm.
kind of smiling and putting like, lying a little bit basically. I was wondering how did you come up with this character?
It's crazy because there is not only one point of reference. I know that there is some that this character is very common in screwball comedies. This girl that is very very it's a liar, and she gets what she wants, and this is something in the film. It's very based in this kind of screwball comedy from the 40s, but also there is some kind of cultural. Everybody talks about how this Brazilian way of doing things. So there is some connection with this kind of stereotype of Brazilian person. I know about it as a Brazilian person, but also there is some kind of prejudice that I'd like to talk about, but in a good way, in a playful way. But Grace is a black girl, and she's very based in the girls that the woman in my family. and the people and the women that who moves to the Europe and try to build up things outside their places. It's very based in, for example, I remember that one of the first gestures of the character, it was a friend of mine that she tried to find a swimming pool in the Google Maps, and this is something that Grace does, and in this way, it's very based. This gesture of a friend of mine that trying to find it, and in a way, it's a collection of a lot of different gestures of different people. I love to make characters very based in not only one side person. It's a kind of a different to build up a character, a good character. You think about a lot of small details.
How did you find this actress? I think it's Amandita. How did you find her?
Amandita. Well, usually I write characters to actors and actresses that I already know because I love it, and I love to write characters to a certain type of walking or to a certain type of voice, people that I like. And but Amandita, it was the first time when I made the Gracie that I made a movie. Uh, the movie is the main character. It was the first time that I didn't have anybody in my mind, but I had some gestures. I knew some kind of. I imagined about. I thought about a girl. There was this singer, North American singer called Abra. She's very alternative. She does R&B, alternative R&B, and in my mind, when I had to write this character, I thought about Abra. But after after some years creating the project, in the process of creating the project, I had to 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 see this person. So I asked a friend of mine, Andrea Pires. I am trying to find an actress. Um, she's black. She's a 20 years old, and she and Andrea, my friend, she invited, she talked about Amandita because they worked together, and uh, and so I saw some pictures of Amandita, and slowly I got friends with her. It was really like I was very impressed by her as as an actress, as a character. And when I went to Fortaleza to to the pre-production, the studies for this project, I had only one plan. The plan A was a Mandira, and I met her, and we felt the vibe. We had a moment. We you know I invited her to read the script, and we talked about everything. We talked about planets and about life and about and I am very touched by this kind of meeting. It wasn't a text, a test. It was a real meeting about creativity, about life. And the ending of this meeting, I invited her to make the character.
I guess besides finding the actress, what were some of the challenges of the production?
Okay. Well, one of the challenges it was COVID. We had COVID in the not in the middle of the process, but it was really crazy because it was for a lot of friends. And for me also, it was the first project after the pandemic. So we had a lot of different, we had some issues with it. We had to have a big structure to 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 take care of COVID, but also we were very very excited to be together again because part of the crew of the movie they made this movie together we made movie together before, some shorts, but I shot two different features before Greice. Greice is my third feature, and it was beautiful. We had some problems, but very basic and very uh, production problems. But most part of time we had a real good time, and I think that this vibe we can feel in the movie.
One of the things that I guess I take away from the movie is not exact. I mean, the movie is definitely, I guess, powered by the personality of the character, but it's also this kind of portrait of the people around her, which is kind of
Yes.
like, young creative people in the university. Um, how do you feel? Do you feel like that's also a part of what you were trying to do? Is kind of basically talk a little bit about youth and kind of their problems, and maybe kind of how that certain charm that maybe Grace has kind of has a stopping point once reality kind of sets in place.
Well, it's crazy because I like to play with it in the history of the movie. That usually we think that the character should be when we are in a journey, in a movie, in a narrative movie, we see all the problems and the you know Gracie is a liar. At the ending of the movie, she should be penalized by it. But for me, this is not the point. For me, this point is that no, we maybe Gracie, she's an exception in the life in the life of people. Everybody knows somebody who is a liar or creates some or very imaginative. And for me, it's more of a celebration of the possibility of creating things and to be in contact with life and with other people than a moral. Then I didn't want to create any moral statement about this kind of life. The
Hmm.
point is that even for me, and I like this idea, Grace is I don't it's impossible to fit her in some place, to know where she is. And I like this idea. I really like the idea that we cannot hold Grace anywhere.
Yeah, there's a certain idea, like I was saying earlier, that reality is going to put a stop to all of her lies and all the things she's
Mhm.
trying to get away with, and that maybe there'll be some kind of punishment. But the film doesn't really do that. It reminded me a little bit of like what we were talking about earlier. How she's kind of a screwball character. Definitely, like Katharine Hepburn and Bringing Up Baby.
Yes, yes,
How about how she's kind of like this force of nature that forces everyone to go her way,
yes,
and at the end, she basically gets all the things she wants, and she's never punished, and she's never like everyone just kind of bends over to her will. It's like, obviously works a little differently in your film, but I think it's a little bit of that same idea. There's
yes, yes,
no
more or less, yes.
yeah.
But the point is that for me, it's like this movie is called Gracie, but it could be Enrique or it could be Naldo, because the point is that all the characters they have this not only a contradiction. People live the way they can live, and I am very interested in the way that people live, how they live, how they um, have to be very strong to be who they are. And for me, it's like they are not they have a lot of personality because they know, or they are constantly creating who they are.
Well, Leonardo, I really want to thank you once again for your conversation here, for letting us show your film. Um,
Thank you, John.
yeah, so once again, this has been Leonardo Mouramateus with Greice. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thank you. Sorry for my English, but I
No,
tried hard.